Due to the emergence of more transmissible variants of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, it will be necessary to strengthen and maintain response measures to avoid further rises in mortality, even in the context of the rapid prioritized vaccination program. Delays in vaccine procurement, distribution and administration also means that non-pharmaceutical measures must be held in place for longer. Well, Dr. Donyo Dubanjo, a public health physician, joins us now virtually on the program for more on this and other situations. Thanks for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, Doctor, I'd like to begin with, how reactions are trailing the historic announcement of children to be vaccinated against malaria using the new RTSS. What's your take? And this is following WHO's recommendation.
Well, it's good. It's good that we finally have some kind of progress in that area. Attempts to develop the malaria vaccine have been on for many years. So when you have a result like that, you want to celebrate it. But it's important to point out that it's not the only thing, So this is not like saying malaria is over, we have a vaccine. No, this is one of the things that can and would be used, to combat malaria. However, we must also note that right now, this candidate vaccine that we have only reduces severe malaria, doesn't stop malaria infections completely. So it's still important to put in all the other control measures. The vaccine also tends to wane over time. So we must continue the things we know to do, to use the insecticide bed nets and all that. And then secondly, it's important for the countries to determine the cost effectiveness of introducing this vaccine. It's not going to be an easy vaccine to use. It's multiple dosaging, so you have to take several times, about 4 times each child. So all of that presents some logistical challenges if you were to introduce it. So WHO's approval is to say we think it's good enough. It's now up to every country to determine whether they think it's cost effective to use it.
And that bit of warning also, with this vaccines also is what we hear with COVID-19 and the vaccines. But are you in any way concerned that this new malaria vaccine will suffer the fate of COVID-19 vaccines, seeing how hesitancy about the vaccination is evident in many countries?
Well, I think that's why WHO wanted to make a point of mentioning African scientists working on the vaccine, on the malaria vaccine. However, that would not be enough by itself. It's important to realize that everything we do, and I'm happy you mentioned the COVID-19 vaccination and hesitancy in relation to this, because one of the warnings that I have particularly in the area of evidence-informed policy making is that what you do with the COVID-19 vaccine might eventually affect every other intervention you have with vaccinations, for instance, even with the new malaria vaccine. So there is a good chance that if we get it right, if we just mandate vaccinations and all of that for COVID-19, tomorrow again, people might say, you know what, we think something is going on here. That's why they forced us to take that. Maybe we shouldn't take this. So we must be careful about our policies, and we must ensure that we engage people. If we engage people right and let them see the benefits of vaccination, I think that they will make informed choices. The truth of the matter is that as we speak on the TV, a lot of people in the rural areas are not going to see this. They are not going to hear the things that we say. So we need to engage the community structures in order to reach the people, listen to their concerns, answer their questions, and I think most of them will agree to to these public health measures.
Do you think, finally, that an integrated response is also one way to go about this?
Well, we absolutely have no choice. If you are going to be able to sustain anything, you have to think integration. Because you can imagine that we are giving all the other vaccinations, childhood vaccinations, we're giving COVID-19 vaccination. Then you want to start giving malaria, for instance. It won't happen tomorrow. Not immediately. But let's say when it's ready, you want to start giving 4 shots of vaccines for malaria also. You have to think of how to do all of them synchronously, such that you don't waste resources, you don't duplicate effort, Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem and it's going to be unsustainable. So we must integrate.
All right, we appreciate your time on the program. We'd like to thank you, Dr. Doyin Odubanjo, public health physician. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.